This is the Henry's Child Podcast. Am I crazy? Or am I just raving?
For all intent and purpose, young knave, that was the one that got away. We've all got some of those, don't we? It's a song called Only Man. It was actually recorded in between the Mumbles and Screams and the Clearly Confused record as an entry into the Sonic Explosion. And I'll get a little bit more into the history in just a second, but before I do, I wanted to get in a little housekeeping because we've been gone for about a month, and I wanted to kind of let you know what we've been up to and where we're at. So first off, thank you for listening to this. This is actually the 50th episode of the Am I Crazy or Am I Just Raving podcast. So y'all aren't sick of me quite yet. If you're not a subscriber, you should go and subscribe so that way you get the latest information right to your device. And the way you do that is just in the one-click subscription button in either Google Play, Spotify, or Apple Podcasts. It's been a great journey, and I appreciate you guys sticking around and hanging in there with me. So housekeeping. So we're actually recording a new record. That is right. Even though we released the I've Become record back in late April of 2019, we are recording some old songs in a new way. And really the reason we're doing it is really for three reasons. First off, there's a lot better quality now than there was back in 1995 when this first record was recorded. I didn't play on that record. That was actually Chris Holm who played bass on it. So first and foremost, it's very important to me to be able to express, what I've done over the years in these songs, on an actual record. I mean, this is, a dream come true for me. I've been playing these songs for 22 years, and all of a sudden we're able to kind of get them out into the world, which is absolutely fantastic. So better quality. They're a little more developed, meaning that they're a little more succinct than they were back then. We're doing things that are important, like playing to a click track, which didn't happen back in 1995. So a little bit of a difference there. And third and most important, the thing that sort of put it up in the queue, in the sort of the top of the list, was the fact that Andrew spoke to many of our fans, and our fans wanted to hear these songs on a new record in a new capacity. So we are doing a handful of songs of Mumbles and Screams, and that's about all that I can tell you at this point. I'd love to share some with you, but nothing is even mixed. We actually were just able to complete the bass tracks right before Thanksgiving, and Rich just completed the guitars last week. So we're sort of right on the cusp of kind of in the middle of recording. And like most things, the entertainment industry takes a break between Thanksgiving and Christmas. And so we are, in lieu of taking a break, we're actually going out and we're just recording more stuff. So that's kind of what's been happening. In the meantime, we've also been in conversations for a tour coming up that's going to likely occur sometime in May. I don't have any details right now, but we will be headed south as opposed to north. So on to talking about Only Man. I really wanted to discuss this song and get it out into the world again as an example of really something great that got away. Because one of the things that Henry's Child really values as a core value is writing good songs and cohesively working together to create those songs so that fans enjoy them. I mean, we can write 1,000 songs a day for ourselves, but if we're just playing them to ourselves, nobody actually hears them. So philosophically, it sort of is the tree falling in the proverbial forest, if you will. But when I reached out to Andrew, he told me that the song Only Man was about questioning and accepting who you are, which in general is in the public consciousness these days, with this whole sort of gender definition and people sort of redefining who they are. In addition to, I think, maybe starting this podcast around the time that is sort of the winter has come upon us, and we've kind of moved to a different climate, a different change. And so there are gems that got away, and I feel like this is one of those songs that really just kind of slipped through the cracks. The story of the song, as I recall, goes something like this. It was one of the very first songs that I actually wrote with the band after I had come on in April of 1995. And the bass line is super busy. I mean, obviously I'm doing a bunch of stuff that I typically wouldn't do now. I mean, I would have definitely made some different choices. But the song itself is really a beautiful blend of kind of the dynamics that Henry's Child is kind of known for, along with that sort of mechanical, always on guitar kind of rolling in the background. Because let's face it, Henry's Child is a guitar-driven band. And Andy putting out these words, these questions, these ideas about who he is and what's happening and where he's encased and what is holding him back. And it's really just a very introspective journey into him sort of questioning that. Yes, the song itself got away from us, but really the questions are very timeless. They're questions that we all deal with and things that we all go through. We all experience change in one fashion or another. Some of us, it's at a rapid and a very accelerated rate. Some of us, it's kind of held back a little bit, maybe. So I want to play the song for you, and I want you to be thinking about a few things, because this is just the example, right? So what are some relationships that got away from you? What are some relationships that could have been different or could have ended better, right? What are some ideas? What are some business ideas that you had that maybe never came to the forefront of your brain, or really you took all the way down the field to, the 5-yard line and just didn't pass to, get it up and going? Or maybe you got your website up and you forgot to do a certain thing over here. So I would really encourage you to explore that as much as possible. And as we're kind of in this slide of change that's happening for all of us, see what you can create out of that. See what is possible for you when you listen to this song. So check it out. So this is, for your consideration, the song Only Man.
All I've been
So there it is, Only Man, one of the truly lost gems of Henry's Child. With a song that good, you probably ask yourself, what the heck happened? And as I recall, Only Man was actually slated to be on the Clearly Confused record, the record we released on Elemental Records in 1997. But it got derailed for another song called No, as in the K-N-O-W spelling of no. And No got kiboshed as well. And I don't think it was necessarily a song that remains on Clearly Confused, but it got kiboshed because the harmonies ended up not working. So we actually, when we did the Clearly Confused record, we recorded the music out at Dogwood Studios in Veneta, and the vocals we did at Gung Ho with Bill Barnett. And lost in translation of that were two songs, first of which was Only Man, which you had just heard, and secondly, a song called No. And No has these really great harmonies on it. They really sound like a train whistle. I should try to find that for you and see if I can't drudge that one up. No wasn't recorded during the preliminary stuff for the Sonic Explosion, but Only Man was, along with It Came to Me and a couple other songs that are actually on the Retrospective 20 disc. So that said, is there anything that you'd like to know about Henry's Child? Is there a particular song that you'd like me to dissect with either Andrew or Rich? Is there any questions about the new record coming out and when we're going to be playing? You can always write us directly at henryschild@henryschild.com, or you can just go to our website. Most of the questions that you have will be answered there, either in pictures, video, or audio. And of course, our site is just henryschild.com. And at the very bottom, you'll actually find all of our socials. And so if you're not following us on Instagram or Twitter or Facebook, choose the social of choice and give us a follow. And like I said earlier, if you are not subscribed to this podcast, go ahead and hit the subscribe button. And that way we can get all of this information directly to you. And if you're not on our newsletter list, you can sign up on our website, henryschild.com. Thank you for allowing me to come into your ecosystem 50 times now. It's been a pleasure to talk to you and get these stories out and get this information out and talk to really cool people that are involved in music. And if you have any suggestions of folks who you think would be a good fit for the Henry's Child podcast, just let me know. Drop me a line at the henryschild@henryschild.com email address. I think that's about it for now. Hey, listen, have a great Christmas, and we'll see you on the other side in 2020. Take care. We'll talk to you soon.